Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to X Marks the Box, an Xbox podcast. My name is Potato Chief, and I'm with my good friend Alice. How are you, Alice?
Hi.
We got a packed episode today, and my dog's decided to hit the. Thanks, Peb. I got my white. I used the TV as a light-in, and she just literally rolled over the controller and knocked the lighting off. Thank you for that. So I just lost. We're 30 seconds into the episode, and I've lost my lighting. Thank you for that, Pebbles, my dog. Anyway, welcome to X Marks the Box. We got a pretty packed episode for you this week. Lots of news, surprisingly. I didn't think we would have any news this week, but it's been quite busy. So, I mean, we should just really get into it, I suppose. So, Alice, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing quite a bit, though. I've been playing Halo Infinite, which is a Yappening.
Me too.
And last week we were talking about how I was a bit down there on it. I know I just went a bit really pessimistic and didn't speak so much about it.
Yeah.
But I just heard from other people who played the Yappening, and they actually they seem to enjoy it more. So even those who are skeptical of the franchise, they still enjoy it.
I played the Yappening as well. I thought it was. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I'm kind of done now already. There's 10 battle passes and I've already finished it. So I'm like, oh, and now I've got nothing to play till March because I've been pacing myself for the season pass. I haven't done any double XP or anything, and I've just hit level 100 on that, and I've done all the Yappening, and now I'm like, I could do my weeklies, but I can't be bothered to do that. Do I want a gold?
Well, there's a couple of more events before March comes, but that's all you ever get.
Yeah.
But to me, with the Yappening, I said last week I thought I only got Sprockets and Fiesta, and yes, Fiesta is the most common game type that's on this playlist, and it just made me more disappointed. But I noticed there's now I got snipers, I got shotty snipes as well, which means I seem to be getting more on that playlist.
Yeah.
And it just seems really interesting.
It's fun. I guess
I'm still disappointed that they only changed the weapons aspects.
Yeah.
And they didn't do the physics or anything like that. But I did notice some discoveries which are really totally awesome. You know those upgraded weapons you find on the campaign where if you beat the raids, then you get upgraded versions of weapons.
Yeah.
You get those. Yeah, you get those on the maps as well. That if you go to weapon pickups, you can get white shelled version of weapons, like a needler, for instance, and you're instantly kill opponents with it. Arcane Sentinel Beam is one of the best weapons in the game because it's a literal goddamn laser.
Yeah.
You can get them on the multiplayer mode as well, which is utterly fantastic. So that's one of the good things about it. So I just got a little bit more pleased about it than I initially played it on Tuesday last week because it came out a day before the podcast and it was a bit too short for us to go for it.
Yeah, I agree. So I didn't give it much of a chance before the podcast. As I said, I enjoyed the Yappening, but I played it this week, got all my challenges done, got all the battle pass that they got with it, and now I'm kind of waiting until the next battle pass or the next event now, really, because there's nothing left for me to do with this. Even though it's a 2-week event, I've already finished it in 1 week, so yeah.
Well, I've done it I got the whole free battle pass, the whole pass done for the Yappening, and I would have had a couple of the challenges to do before getting a wart keychain, but I stopped there.
Oh.
I would have gained 10,000 points on Mumble Pit, but I've already spent all the challenge swaps on one of them and then settled on the needler. And I thought, I'm not going to go through this again.
No.
And I would rather save my challenge swaps if they're ever going to be used.
So you didn't get...
And then...
You didn't get the wart keychain then?
No.
It's WORT, not war. I can't. It's basically the sound that the elites make. It says that, and it's got an elite on it. What?
What?
Yeah, I got the keychain,
yeah, I
but
just
then I
often
stopped
like
after that.
Yeah, I just got mixed up with the W and the R sometimes, but
No, it's fine. I meant for the I pronounce it what as well. So it's like, but if someone is listening, they don't know what I'm talking about. I was like, why would you say what? So what? So it says war, war.
but yeah, there's also the Parasite Ictor, which is like a dried up texture version of a yellow visor.
Yeah.
And I thought it's interesting, but I'm not sure if we're gonna grind this whole thing again just to get that when I'm obviously behind the things to do the games. And I think it's better. I think I would rather spend my time on other games and like catch them up than having to play Halo Infinite all the time.
Yeah.
So once I've done that, I've bought a few more cosmetics and ending with the I think it was Marty T buckets like pack that's got a pink armor, and turns out a few people were like donning it. And there's also the effect that there's effects that you just add fire as you walk and use your ability. There's also like a powdery fog there as you go around and fire your slingshot. So I got that too. But then there's a doggy keychain, which is based on the meme, which you can get for 200 credits. And you can also get, I think there was another one, but there's a banana armor pack, which is basically white and yellow on all the vehicles. But yeah, that's about it. Once I got those, I'm not going to spend another dime on it unless something awesome comes up, but I really doubt, because they've been spreading out all this content throughout the entire month, so there's no point.
They're spreading it very thin, the content. I don't know, really. It's weird. I honestly feel like we should almost make a Halo podcast, because every episode we do have a lot to talk about Halo every week.
I promise you, this is going to stop soon, because when there's no content on Halo, then there's no point mentioning about it.
That's true.
And the thing is, I've burnt out with this whole game, and I went through the same grind, and now the weekly challenges are just, as you said, it's not really worth getting. Like, there's a Scarlet Hunter visor, which I'm interested to do a grind, and this will happen with probably one of the last, I think it was
My dog's barking.
Well, we've got a special guest here.
She's already knocked the lights off, and then she's barking, just a double distraction. God. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, there's one of the things, which is I think it was the Iron Strike, or is it the Entrenched? Yeah, Entrenched event. One of the weeks is going to have a weekly awards where you get a Scarlet Hunter, which is a bright red visor, just like Ecto Green. Ecto Green is still one of my best purchases, so I might probably go for the red one. Apart from that, I'm not really going to touch Halo Infinite, only to check on the weekly shopping lists. But I think it's just like, it's just really no point to be able to get on with it. Yeah. So, and that's how I exactly feel about it.
I mean,
November comes, we might pop in again for the camping co-op and possibly to try out Forge, but that's about it.
And the 30 tier battle pass as well, which I'll probably complete in like a week, if that. So there's that as well.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, I know. I want to play more. I really, really want to play more Halo, but it's just, it's not the best. It's a bit disappointing, honestly. It's a shame, but it's one of those things. I need to try and come up with something else to play now. I mean, this week.
Well, at least it did last longer than like Babylon's Fall. The Platinum games.
Yeah, I know Babylon's Fall. Jeez.
They did like servers, and I thought they were going to get this right, but it turns out that it didn't attract a lot of players, and it's now made a decision that Square Enix and Platinum Games are going to end Babylon's Fall, ending the entire service, which means you cannot play it again on February 2023. So, I think the good thing is that Halo Infinite lasts. It's going to last longer than Babylon's Fall, and that only came around for just a year. And it's also bear in mind that this is like exclusive to PlayStation, which I imagine you can play it on the PC.
Oh.
That's it. That's why. That's one of the reasons why it failed.
I mean, we've said negative things about Halo, but there is a lot of live service games that have gone down like a lot quicker than this, been a lot worse than this. Like Hyperscape by Ubisoft and Avengers, and what was the one with your Iron Man? It was made by BioWare. Like you fly around in like an exosuit. I forgot what it's called now.
Oh, you mean Anthem?
Anthem, yeah. Like there's a load of games like this that have died out, and because this is Halo and it's Microsoft, they will be putting money into this, and it's not going anywhere. It's gonna take a while for the content to catch up. I mean, Fallout 76 was awful at the beginning, but it's got better apparently. And same with the Elder Scrolls Online and Sea of Thieves and stuff like that. A lot of them have improved throughout the years. I feel like Xbox do seem to be the king of live services at the moment. So I'm hoping that, they put more well, we'll get to it in the news story, but, obviously Bonnie Ross has left and they're putting more resources into 343. So I'm hoping that's going to fix the issues. But obviously we'll discuss that when we get to the news.
Well, yeah, that's right. Because I think it's just a case of live service games that if it's not going to go down well or not sticking to the targets, it'll be up to the publisher to keep it alive. Which is why Paladins, like, it used to be like thriving, but it lost the esports tournament, and the passes you can buy now offers less content. It's up to Hi-Res Studios to keep it alive. And that is despite that Paladins has got enough bugs and it doesn't have a lot of players, but it's still kept alive by Hi-Res Studios, and it's just basically keep pumping out microtransaction stuff.
Yes.
So I think this is like the thing with Halo Infinite, that it may run out of content, but the Microsoft is still keeping it active. I do know like how it's going to happen with Halo if it were to release support. It's not going to end entirely.
Yeah.
The game would still be around. It's just like you'll only be limited to a few modes you play. And this is like with Halo 5.
Yeah.
As I said last week, you only like have a few modes where players are still playing it. But you just don't get to access other modes because there's not enough players on them.
I still feel like...
Which is like with Paladins ranked, I got in and been waiting for like 10 to 20 minutes before I get into the match. Oof. And that's when the players are like losing out and just sticking to the most popular modes, so it's not particularly good.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but I just think of games like No Man's Sky or Final Fantasy 14, which basically they sucked so bad when they first came out, but then eventually they did get it right. I do feel like the core of Halo Infinite, the actual multiplayer is so much fun. I mean, we've both played it so much because obviously it is a fun multiplayer, but obviously it's just not got enough content. When the content's there, I think it will hopefully pick up again. When we got more maps and more modes, I'm hoping that it's going to pick up popularity again, I hope. Fingers crossed.
Well, honestly, I think the Forge is probably going to like keep the game going, because I think it will be the community who would keep providing for the game, because at the moment they released a bunch of videos that show the power of Forge, and so far you can get much better results. You get much nicer maps compared to Halo 5's Forge mode. And it's just like, I think this is going to turn out so good. Like when it comes out in the beta and people are making a lot of stuff with it to keep the game alive, then this is really good. But I think Forge alone, or even the co-op, is going to be enough to keep it going for like another 3 months. But who knows? I think the only thing that will keep this game alive is in fact the community, and I think this will still stand for many months.
Yeah, so I think we should try and we're still in the opening subjects here. So, is there anything else you've been playing today? Playing this week, or the last 2 weeks?
I played Paladins, but I've been playing less and less, so I might actually drop off of the game. And that is despite I've still pay for the game, but not as much as before. So, but I've got Turtles Cowabunga Collection for the Switch. So I got it on physical for less. I just got it on Amazon for like £10 off. So I just went in there, played like Turtles beat 'em ups, and I've also played some like fighting games. It's like, wow, it's good. I've only get to play the tournament fighters, and I just noticed like I thought the Mega Drive version is going to be great, but then it just turns out it's frustrating, and you'll be left to use every of the fighters that you can cheese through just by spamming the powerful move. But I find the Super Nintendo version to be much better, so I thought, yeah, just stick with that.
Fair.
Also, the beat 'em ups are like so good, and yet, ironically, I haven't even like given a full try of Shredder's Revenge on like Xbox. I mean, we still haven't like got around to do the co-op, so
No, we probably should do that at some point.
yes,
I've played a bit of Shredder's Revenge as well, but not for a while.
I'm getting really close to like getting super fast broadband because we already like got the paperwork sorted out for them to like build connections so I can get super fast broadband.
That was so cool.
In fact, there's a promise that I may get over 10 or even 20 megabits of upload speeds, which could mean I may even stream Twitch for like at the higher quality, like 1080p.
Nice.
So when that comes, then I might even like see if I can get this set up so we can do voice chats and play it on my Xbox using Twitch, so we can like stream like Turtles or something like that. That would be really good, because I remember that we did a Destiny and we had like me and you like playing around, but it didn't pick up your voice.
No,
but I think we definitely did that before, so
I mean, we could use my voice through Discord. I mean, that's an option. We could try and do that. That'd be fun. I would like to try
that depends if Xbox can actually pick it up, because when I do the Xbox games, it would have to be through the Twitch app. So therefore I'm just gonna have to figure out like if there's a way to get your voice in as well. Otherwise, I don't know, because I haven't got the OBS sorted out for Xbox, and I'm not sure if I'm even going to like get to move the Xbox Series X just to set it up into the OBS, really.
Yeah, I don't know how to Twitch stream through the Xbox. I didn't know you could do that. I'll have to look into that. That's pretty cool if you can.
Well, it's very easy. Like, the Twitch app lets you to like stream using the game, and you can like hook up with your voice, but it hasn't like discussed about how you can get the group chat. But now there's like Discord you can put on the Xbox now, but I don't know if it can catch that as well, so you might do a test stream and test it out.
That might be worth doing. Yeah. So is there anything else you've been playing this week?
Well, I've been playing the Artful Escape because there's a heap of like Game Pass games. There's a bunch of games that's left the service like about 2 weeks ago, and now there's going to be a bunch that is going to leave.
Yeah,
and that includes Skatebird, Artful Escape, and I think by now that those games are now off Game Pass because they're leaving on like the 15th of September. So I'm just trying to like going through the Artful Escape and try to beat it within 3 more hours.
Yeah,
but this game is so good, and you've got this Brian May riffs from the main character, and you have all this 70-esque like sci-fi aspects. Yeah, so
it's really good.
Really cool.
It's really good. I got the Thousand Gamer score on there. It's an easy game to get the full gamer score on, so I definitely recommend it. Like Brian May, like David Bowie, very spaceman, Iggy Stardust type of stuff. I mean, I love that stuff. I love 80s rock. That's like my favorite stuff. So I love that. I enjoyed it for what it was. It's like It's a pretty basic platformer with a couple of like music mini game kind of things in it. But I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, and it has decent story to it. Yeah. Uh, I've only the only game I've been playing apart from Halo is Prey again. Um, I feel like I must be playing it slower than everyone else because I've been doing this game for like 4 weeks and I still haven't finished it, or I still don't feel like I'm anywhere near finishing it. I'm just exploring the space station still in the game, and I still don't feel like I'm getting any closer to finishing the game. I'm enjoying it though for what it is, and yeah, it's a good game. I would highly recommend it. You know, I basically started playing it because I thought we would get Deathloop soon, and we don't know if we are. I mean, you might be getting it next week, or we might not be getting it for another year, for all we know. Yeah, it's very. We're still unsure what's going to happen with Deathloop, but yeah, I've been enjoying Prey, so that's been the game I've been playing apart from Halo. So those are the games I've been playing. So should we move on to the news, or you?
Well, first of all, a bit of a news from me that I've been playing. Well, you know, about a couple of weeks ago that I brought over and show you my Design Labs controller.
Yeah, you did.
So
yeah.
I don't know if you could like grab that footage and like stick it on the video because the what I got there is just like it's a really bright pink on the front and it's
Yeah.
got blue accents as well as like orange and reds.
Yeah.
I had problems with it like shortly after, and it had problems of inputs. There's a stick drift, and it's all falling apart. It didn't fall apart literally, but
Yeah.
it's just like getting really broke. So I sent it off like about in the middle of August, and thankfully it's still serviced because it's got a week's left of warranty when I sent it over. But Xbox has not been interacting with this order and didn't tell me. So I just waited for almost a month. And when it's about to like reach a month, I had to get to customer services.
Yeah.
First time I did that like 2 weeks ago. I asked for the call back, just went through it like 3 times, and I waited for someone to put me through and didn't get through. And I just keep hanging up. So I just have to wait for another 2 weeks. And I've been going through like trying to communicate with the gamer and stuff like that. And I think it was a bit spotty. But when I did the calls again, like first time I tried that, it says, "Oh, we're having issues with it. Please try back later." So I did different solutions. But now I just got through to the customer service. And this is how it should have been in the first place, because someone came back to me. They looked up on the service numbers and apparently they have a problem with the receipt because it was sent to the different email address when I sent off for the service request. So I just got my receipt sorted out that's stored in the email system and got all the information there, which is then escalated with the hardware team support, and now they should be able to get this sorted out. So a few days later, and that's doing the Queen's death thing.
Yeah.
Because I did this call on the same day as the Queen died message.
Oof.
Yeah, I know. I never expected this to happen like straight away. But a few days later, they came back and they have refunded my controller. So I did not get the controller back as a replacement. I got a full refund, and that includes the 35 quid I paid for it, along with a gift card I used with it. So that means, like, I was given an option which I can buy the same Design Labs controller with the same combination, but it could be at least a month for me to get that again, just to see if it's ever going to work. So I'm not going to take the risk.
Yeah.
And so instead, I've bought this controller off Amazon, which is a pastel pink 8-bit DAO controller.
Sounds like, oh yeah, it looks nice, bright pink. Yeah, it's a nice pastel pink color. So it's not too, it's not over, it's not like shock pink. So it's not like it's not like tacky or anything. It's quite.
Well, it is quite simple, but it's very similar to white. It's just there's a pink tint with it. Like if you use it in the dark, you'll almost confuse it with a white controller. But so far, It's a bit smaller, but it's also wider than the Xbox controller. You do have to plug it in or to use it, but it does have a breakaway cable, which is good. And there was a bit of a cheap stuff like the guide button doesn't light up. It's just a normal controller. And same with the Xbox controllers, where it's got like letters printed on them instead of like having them as like some, I don't know, the domed type of things for it. But the thumbsticks and the D-pad is much nicer. The thumbsticks are slightly big, and the shoulder buttons are like more pronounced.
Okay.
You also got like back triggers on it too, so I mapped A and B to it, so it's just like makes it much nicer.
Nice.
Most of the almost all the time, it's just like works fine. Just been playing the V games with it, so no fuss.
Awesome. I'm glad you found a good controller for you. I'm still sticking to the standard controller, but like it's a shame about all the stuff going on with your custom controller. They still haven't got back to you with it yet. That's very frustrating.
Well, they did get back to me, but it took about a month, and I had to use customer services in it to like chase it up.
Yeah.
And also, they only refunded my order, but I think after the people's experiences where they had faulty controllers or even been waiting longer for the Design Labs controllers, I just think this is not worth the risk. Like, if I got plenty of money and I can buy lots of controllers, I would try that again. But based on the budget I have, I'm not willing to go through this and end up like having the Design Labs controller. So because of this, I have to like drop it really. So it's just disappointing because I've been with it for like a year and it was like so good, but it just seems like as if the quality assurance is not that great on those controllers like that. Also, bear in mind there's Series 2 Elite controllers that led to the lawsuit against Microsoft. And there's a Reddit post that says about that they received like 3 Forza 5 controllers, which is clear yellow with pink and blue bits. They had the problems with D-pad and just somehow like gave up or some sort like that. So therefore, like, if you want a different coloured Xbox controller, then it's probably best to go for the colours you could buy in the shop because it's likely to be easily serviceable compared to the Design Labs controllers. So I think if I was given that choice, I would go for one of them because it's better to spend on that rather than going for the Design Labs controller that is likely to break and somehow it will be a waste of your time because it's just almost as if Microsoft is a bit hesitant when it comes to delivering them. Not to like dig on Microsoft, but I just feel like the service they do on those side of things, it was really disappointing. Not gonna lie. But if you go for something like black or white controllers, you would have a much better chance for them like working, which is why like when I set the Design Labs controller out, I stuck to the black controller, and it's just like, oh, everything works fine. I can finally use a player charge kit because the Design Labs controller doesn't work with it, so I had to use AA batteries. But when I used the back controller, charges well using any USB-C cable, and that's a trick. In fact, it's much better.
I got the electric volt. See, like I'm trying to show it to the camera, but it's invisible on the green screen. But it's like it's green screen color basically. Electric volt, which is the standard controller, which I bought, and it's been wonderful. It's been brilliant for me so far. I haven't had any issues with it at all. So but it's a shame about the controller issues.
It is.
So
and I had to like use a third-party controller, and so far, 8-bit day, still early days, but going through it. Anyway, I've also like bought at the same time Xenoblade Chronicles 3, so I have yet to play it. So, but as for the Microsoft credit, because I bought a different controller, I instead used that gift card because it's got an expiry date of like 12th of October, and it's set like a month after I got it. So I used it to get buy more microtransactions in Halo Infinite and Paladins.
Fair
better
enough.
to get this sorted out before it's runs out. Then I realised there's some like few interesting games that's on the sales,
Yeah.
like the Namco stuff and the co-op stuff. So I was like, never mind.
Uh, Currently at the moment, Cyberpunk's on sale, so I probably would have got that, but because there's new DLC coming out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't know when I got the gift card and I had to spend it.
yeah,
So
that's fair enough. Um, so I would just said this earlier when we were talking about Halo. Bonnie Ross has left 343. Bonnie Ross has been the face of Halo, been the steady I don't know, the figurehead, I suppose. It was very weird seeing her go because like I'm so used to seeing Bonnie Ross on like the stage for Halo and stuff and talking about Halo, and now she's gone. Her job has been split.
well, that was for the different. It's not for what you expect to be the reason.
Yeah.
Like, it's not based on the game or anything. Because according to her message, it was due to the family health issue, so she had to attend that, meaning she left the studio, and it's probably going to be permanent. So it's just not. I mean, it's not the case of whether there's good news for the Halo community or not that she left.
Yeah.
I think it's just a case that this pops up, so I don't know whether it's going to be better or worse for the whole development. But all I can say is that, like, condolences to the family and big respect for like Bonnie Ross to make sure she sorts out all of those things out. But as for the Halo Infinite's development, I think it's going to be different because there's going to be different people on. However, this is not the only time that someone left Halo. It's just also, it's been reportedly said that that Halo Infinite may have lost a engine lead.
Yeah, they seem to be dropping like flies and stuff for Halo. I mean, Jason, what's his name? The main one from, can't remember his name now. Jason, the main one. He came back to like steady the ship, and he's done a good job, I think. But it's unfortunate that like Bonnie Ross has got it feels like a bit too much of a coincidence that a week after the internet kind of goes into meltdown about Halo, that Bonnie Ross leaves. I know it's family issues, but it does feel a bit of a coincidence as well, timing wise. Don't you think? I feel almost like I feel like it was almost like she jumped before she got pushed, kind of thing. Like she left before she was too late,
Yeah, bear in mind that Halo Infinite is like changed so much and had extra years of development.
Yeah.
And now, right now, there's a reshuffle because according to the same article, the Pereira Hinze will be becoming the studio head.
Yeah.
There's also 2 leadership-related roles where Brian Koski will be the general manager of Halo.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Van Wyck will be serving as a head of business and operations. There's also ex-Destiny developers, Joseph Staten.
Yeah.
He's still serving as a creative director. So, but yeah, there's I think it was a different people in, but I think it just seems as if Halo Infinite, as if it's just not looking very promising for it. Even if Bonnie Ross is left, I don't think it's going to make a major difference whether it's going to be better or worse with the whole game. So, which is why that season 3 could well be the last, but who knows? We might even get season 4, which I'm not going to be surprised about.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get season 4, but yeah, it'd be we'll have to see what happens, won't we? Really. I was going to say, because essentially her job has been split into 3 different jobs now. So she was doing the job of 3 people, and now it's been split in between 3 different people. They seem to be getting more resources, which is good, and more people seem to be going there, and they seem to be hiring again. So I'm hoping that means that they're going to fix the issues with Halo Infinite, but we will have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah. But it just means that Like anything that happens, whether to do with the sequels for Halo or whether it's going to be the expansion of Halo Infinite,
Yeah,
it's going to be drastically different than what we got for Halo 4s and 5.
definitely. I'm hoping it's going to be good though. I got my fingers crossed. Um, so yeah, I mean, good luck to Bonnie Ross. Good luck, and obviously, hope your family are okay, and as well, obviously, the health of your family. I think that's priorities put in the right place there, definitely. And good luck with whatever you do next, because I think she did a pretty good job, but a lot of people disagree with that, but I think she did. So in 2 days, well, tomorrow when this goes up, it is Tokyo Game Show. Are you expect? I've watched Tokyo Game Show from Xbox a couple of times, and they never seem to have anything that big to announce, especially for like us and the Western audience. But I mean, is there anything you're expecting to see in Tokyo Game Show tomorrow? Or...
Probably more third-party titles that's maybe going to be heading for PlayStation or Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, even if the market's like more into like mobile games, I think we'll probably be expecting more news that's likely to benefit like Nintendo Switch or PlayStation 5 users.
Yeah.
Like in PlayStation's State of Play, most of it is filled with lots of third-party titles.
That's true.
And that includes Tekken 8. Like Tekken 8's got like announced there with some gameplay,
Yeah.
so we could see more in like Tokyo Game Show.
That's a good call.
And same with like a few other games that's been like announced in the State of Play too.
Yeah, like that, like a Dragon Yakuza game might be there. The spin-off to Yakuza. Yeah, I'm hoping we're gonna maybe get Soul Hackers 2, maybe get announced for Game Pass. That would be pretty sweet if they could do that. Maybe see some Persona, because obviously that's coming.
Well, Persona is still coming to like Game Pass.
Yeah.
So it will be coming soon.
So maybe we might see some more of that, even though obviously it's an old game, so we kind of already know what to expect. Yeah, I mean, the last Tokyo Game Show I watched, they basically advertised Scarlet Nexus, which was a good game, but then then that went on Game Pass like 2 months later. So they didn't really. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they have some good stuff up their sleeve. It'd be nice to see some Japanese game. Maybe Wulong. Maybe we'll see Wulong. Trying to think of the games that we might see. The Xbox. Yeah, Tekken's a good shout. I think Tekken's a good shout. Tekken. I think that's a good one. Yeah. I think we see Tekken. We maybe get Soul Hackers 2 announced for Game Pass. I would like that. And then maybe Persona dates for the other Persona games coming to Game Pass. I'm not quite sure. And maybe Yakuza stuff.
I'm not being totally sure about live service game sets for like the Japanese market.
Yeah.
Because I think the most likely we get is just like premium like third-party games or even mobile games. Because I think there's a ton of mobile games that's released for like the Japanese market, and it's followed by Nintendo Switch games too. So I think that's probably the most likely target there compared to live service games or even anything for Xbox. Because bear in mind, Xbox is still not popular in Japan, and even though Series X is like getting on away, but who knows?
I mean, we're getting more popular, but we're still not quite there yet. Yeah. So I mean, Tokyo Game Show, keep an eye out. I don't think you shouldn't get too excited because they never really show much Tokyo Game Show, but you never know. We might get one big announcement or 2 big announcements. You never know. Fingers crossed. Yeah. So that's Tokyo Game Show. Have you seen the new Xbox dashboards? There's been
Yes.
I'm not fussed on it. Essentially the current one we got, you have a row of boxes, and whichever game you currently play, it's bigger as a bigger box. They're gonna change it so everything's just the same size. I don't like that. I don't think that's a good design. I don't know. What do you think?
Not much differences. I think they're just trying to make it more akin to the Nintendo Switch UI, but I don't know, because I haven't really experienced it myself.
Yeah.
But I think it's just not going to be a drastic change. Like,
No.
you got the dashboard that's on a 360, which are blades, which we don't really have much complaints about.
We like
Then
the
you have the
blades.
new Xbox experience, which in my opinion, it's just the most flexible. And yeah, I just really enjoy it. Then they have to change it because they have to make sure it's more like easy to control compared with the Kinect. And it's just like, not so great.
No.
Then you have like the Xbox One dashboards, which used to be like you have a video that's in the middle and you just go through pages for icons. Then they just changed it again, and I just think, I think they're just somehow like like they just don't seem to get the understanding of what really makes the blades or the new Xbox experience great in the first place. Because
Yeah.
I totally miss those like interfaces because it's just so good for like Xbox. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just want a simple dashboard. I mean, that's like, I feel like Xbox is going like more is better, more is better. We have as many icons on the screen as we can. Like, let's have 20 icons on the screen. It's like, no, simple, please. We want simplistic. I'll
Well,
take the Switch loadout style if you're gonna give us something like that. You know, like you said, this.
have you like heard of like the Unix approach?
No,
Because there's a philosophy in it that you have to stick to the purpose without having to add more features in. Because if
Yeah.
you stick to that purpose and keep it as simple, then it's just what makes it great, and that's been applied to every like Linux program.
Yeah.
But then again, it's coming from people who work at Windows, so they'll probably disregard the Unix approach or not even heard of it. Otherwise, Xbox interface will be miles better.
Yeah, they need to fix the interface. I don't know. I prefer what we got now though than the new one they're gonna bring out. So, I don't know. As I said, it's like you could tell what you got highlighted because it's a bigger box, and now they're getting rid of that, and everything's gonna be the same size. So I don't know what. I think maybe highlight whatever you highlight it. I don't know. Not first on it. I hope that they change it again. Go back to the blades, like you said. We like the blades.
Yeah, because it's interesting that Blades that Xbox 360 was made, but it's a first console that goes like fully online as if it integrates with the dashboard. And it's just the point where I feel as if consoles are now relying on online features, and I don't like it at first. Because PlayStation 2 is so simple.
Yeah.
You just only need the menu to deal with the memory card or data time. Or you can just stick the disc in and you play games on it. But when the Xbox 360 came out, it's just expected to see if you only have access to games, media, or even settings. So you have this special page for like Xbox Live, and that's where you just interact things like the shop or the bits there. I mean, that's all we need. And then you just have like access to friends and everything without having to rely on the developers to put it into the game. It's good, but now it's just like becomes more Xbox Live. And when Xbox One came out, everything has to be sandboxed into apps, and it just makes it like less seamless, and it's just a bit clunky.
Yeah, they need to.
They still do that for Xbox Series X.
Yeah, I'm not sold on it. I'm. We'll see, but I'm at the moment. I'm not sold on the new dashboard.
So, which interface would you prefer? Like, you're not that enthusiastic about Xbox, so how is it on like Switch, PlayStation, or even like Steam UI?
Well, I haven't used Steam UI in years, but when I used to use it used to be okay.
It's alright actually.
Switch is a bit simple. It's very simple, but it does the job. I think that's fine. PlayStation, I'm not.
I like the simplicity of the Switch because it gives you two things: Switch games and the most essential utilities.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't give you the direct access to say friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just have to like go through the settings to make sure you find what you want.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't allow like apps like YouTube, for instance, because it's integrated with the games.
Yeah.
And I feel this is what the same thing that Xbox does. But I was thinking like if Switch does apps and put them in a different pane that you can switch to. Like if you get Netflix and stuff with it, Switch will become so useful as a multimedia machine you can take everywhere.
Oh yeah. I like the Switch interface. I don't like the PS5 interface. I'm gonna be honest. They got like a line. They got like a line of games, and then I'm like, when I'm trying to figure out how to do anything that's not playing games, I get confused. I'm like, how do like even trying to turn the console off, I get confused. I'm like, do I double tap the PlayStation button? Do I go up, down, left? And it's like they basically got like the line of games. And you can push a button to get up another menu, but then that doesn't have everything on it. There's another menu below it, and it's like it's really confusing and not great. It's not very intuitive now. I prefer the PS4 layout to the PS5. They should have just stuck to the PS4 layout.
Yeah,
to be honest.
PS4 is like more simple because it gives you focus on the games.
Yeah.
But if you press up, you can like have more options there. But I think it's just like Xbox Live. You've got everything at your fingertips, but then with PlayStation 4, for instance, it's just like I think it's as if the online stuff is shoved into one corner, and unlike the Blades, it's just like I just don't. I think it's just like it doesn't give you a lot of features. Like if you just like doing the online stuff or the shop, you're expected to navigate a lot differently compared to the menu there.
Yeah.
Which is why like the PlayStation 3 menu, this is like much better because everything is applied the same. All you have to do is like switch between tabs and then you scroll down the list of like games or services. And I think it's just like really fantastic. Even the Vita menu is just like you had to deal with so many apps on the screen that tries to be a mobile thing, but it's just not that practical in the long run.
The Vita was all bubbles, wasn't it? Like everything circle shaped.
Yeah.
That was weird. Yeah. I think the PS4 had decent. I think the 360 had really good menus for the time, and I'm not sold on either the current Xbox or the PS5 interfaces. So maybe they'll fix them. Hopefully going forward. Yeah, the PS3 was okay as well. I don't know. Maybe I just need to get used to it. Maybe if I use it more, I'll get used to it. But I'm used to the Xbox interface now, so I know how to where to go to get everything. But it's still not seamless. So I would say they need to change it. But I'm not sold on their new look. The new layout doesn't look very good. I think it looks like a downgrade, if anything. So I'm hoping that the next one after that will be better, or they will take feedback and change it. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that's the interface. There's only one more bit of news really I wanted to discuss. It's not even really news. It's just more like Deathloop. The year exclusivity on PlayStation has come to an end, or it's about to come to an end, and Xbox owns this game. Is it coming to Game Pass next week, or is it are we going to come? Are we going to get news on it soon? Do you think? Like, because the rumor was they had it for a year, and Xbox owns this game, so surely it's going to be coming to Game Pass soon, right? That is more of a speculation thing. What do you think about Deathloop?
I'm not even aware of how the Deathloop is supposed to play like, so
yeah, well,
I'm just like not pretty much familiar with it or even aware of if it's going to come soon. So
okay, well, fair
if
enough.
it comes over to Game Pass, then I might try it, but I may try not. It's just like I got Control to play, and I've been playing it for a while, but I have yet to complete it.
Yeah.
In fact, my catalog's got enough Xbox games that I could easily cancel Game Pass Ultimate, save more money for like a few more months, and stack up on Microsoft points, and so I can catch up on all the games there. But then there's still like good, interesting stuff that comes to the Game Pass. But then I just don't think I've easily got on anything else new on it. Like I've been playing 2 Point Campers, but I haven't gotten into it still, which is a bit.
Fair enough. I mean, Deathloop, it won a couple of Game of the Year awards. It came out this time last year on PlayStation, but it is an arcade game, so it's owned by Bethesda. So PlayStation paid for a year's exclusivity, so we're assuming the exclusivity is about to end, so we're assuming it's going to come to Xbox. But this is all speculation. We don't know for sure. We might never get Deathloop on Xbox, which would suck. It'd be nice to know if it's annoying that they can't just tell us if it's coming or not. Like, there's a load of legal jargon, so they can't tell us if it's coming or not, which is very frustrating. And I would just like to know. Just tell us, please. I want to know. I want to know if it's coming, because that's the reason I've been playing Prey, is because I'm looking forward to Deathloop, and it's like the most similar game that we have on Xbox at the moment. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. If it hopefully comes soon, I have a PlayStation, so I could play it on PlayStation, but I'd rather wait for it to come to Xbox.
I just spilled a drink, but it doesn't go anywhere, so saved.
Fair enough.
I just had to close the door because people are chatting outside again.
Oh, bloody annoying people.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our topic of the show.
Before we go to that, Discord is now updated, so you can now you can do Discord chat on Xbox, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
Which
is cool.
But it seems to be voiced only, because if you somehow how do I put it? Like, if you do chats with other people, you can have it on an Xbox. So you just need to reconnect your Xbox so you can have more features for Xbox, which you then need to but just can we pause this for a bit, because I just need to sort things out, because I can hear stuff outside and then I had to clean up the spill. It's not bad, but is that okay?
Yeah, I guess. What are we gonna stop recording, or are we gonna?
I'll just leave it go for a bit, and then when you edit it, you can just cut this.
Yeah, I'll just cut this part out.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, just bear with me.
All right. No worries. Miyamoto, how are you doing, Miyamoto-san? You're a fan of the show? Wow, I really like your T-shirt, Miyamoto. It's awesome. Wow. I really appreciate you being a fan of our show. We put a lot of effort into it. Why are you in the Minecraft world? Yeah, I mean, we have fun with the show. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I enjoyed your Nintendo Direct, Mr. Miyamoto. I'm a huge fan of yours. Would you like some Pepsi Max? No? Well, I'm going to have some Pepsi Max, so you can sit there, Mr. Miyamoto. I appreciate your time, though, coming on the show and just sitting there behind me the whole time. Not at all creepy there, Mr. Miyamoto. Pepsi Max. It tastes good. I don't know the slogan for Pepsi Max. This is me just vamping, trying to come up with stuff to say. So, Mr. Miyamoto, why did you make the Mario games the way they are? Fascinating stuff. So, is it true that Super Mario Bros. 3 was a play? It was meant to be a play, like a theatre play, and that's why they have all the structures like laid out, that's why you have opening curtains and stuff. Is that true, Mr. Miyamoto? I'm honoured to have you on our show. It's a complete honour. What is your favourite Xbox game, Mr. Miyamoto? I mean, I'm not sure if you're a fan of Xbox at all, Mr. Miyamoto, but what is your favourite Xbox game? Do you have a favourite Xbox game, Mr. Miyamoto? No? Okay. I'm just talking to Miyamoto while you're getting ready. You sat there quietly.
That's alright. I can echo, actually, so you just got it sorted out.
Yeah, my headphones came unplugged when I was talking to Miyamoto. Miyamoto-san.
Yeah. Just apologies for this interruption, but I had to close the door properly because there's people talking outside. I had to clean up the Iron Brew spill, but while I'm doing that, I just did this whole miraculous thing of Ta-da!
Ooh, the controller. Yeah, it does look white,
Yep.
doesn't it? It's pink, but it does look white in the certain light. Yeah, I agree. I like it.
Yeah, it's just like 35 quid, and compared to like 60 quid you can get for the Design Labs, which is £5 more than the I think it was the how do I put it? The mobile Xbox controller. Just give it their whiz and hopefully for the best. But yeah, it's just but anyway, as about Discord, I've been like setting it up, and well, you can like get this server chat and put it into the Xbox, which I don't know if it's going to be like useful. Like if it's for Twitch streaming, you can like have this audio playback on it.
Yeah.
But the setup of it is just a pain because first of all, you connect with the like you try to hook this up with the Discord. You try the connections again, and once you do that, you then need to use the Xbox app on your mobile. So that way, if you just go to Discord and you just click on that button where you can just transfer this whole chat to Xbox.
Yeah.
But when you like sign up and do the connections, you then have to go to the Xbox app and you have to hook it up with Discord again. And it just seems like as if you had to repeat this for the Xbox app. This time you just have to remember your username and password for it instead of using the QR code to sign in. So it's just a pain in the butt.
Oh, excuse
But
me.
I'm hoping to like get this sorted out so I can like start putting Discord chats on Xbox, and it'll be like, yeah, so sweet.
Fair. I like Discord. It'd be useful to get it on the Xbox, so I need to fix that myself. So yeah. So are we ready for the topic of the show?
Yep.
Woo, topic of the show. I need to get like jingles or something, but we'll just come up with our own ones at the moment.
Yeah. I do have I do still have like 35 days of like Final Cut Pro trial for me to try out, but I haven't even checked it. And I think part of the reason is just like slow internet, and also I just lack resources to do like faceless videos with.
Fair enough.
But I'm just literally being fucked over, and also it's just like I'm stuck in this like flat, and it's really good, but there's some like a lot of pet hates to had with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's just like makes me wish as if I have something that has more light, more facilities, and I can have lots of acres and have some neighbors are not like such dicks.
Yeah, I could imagine. I've just flattened my garden, so I should have I'm gonna build like a shed / studio where we're gonna have a giant green screen up out there, so I could go out and record out the shed. That'd be pretty cool.
You might even grow some Welsh potatoes.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah, yeah, just become a potato farmer. Yeah. So back to the topic of the show. We got off the topic a little bit. So, Jim Ryan.
Do you have your farmer accent ready?
Yeah, I'm Welsh, so I don't need an accent. I'm Welsh. It's just like what we do.
Well, you sound like a bit like a miner
Wow.
in somewhere in the Wild West.
I was going to mention this earlier. We mentioned the Queen dying and all that, so rest in peace,
Yeah.
Queen. Do you know now that Prince William is the Prince of Wales and also the Duke of Cornwall? So we're connected in that way. So he's your Duke, but my Prince, which is weird.
Yeah.
There you go. I thought I'd mention that because we're talking about.
I do have a bit of a Cornish accent, and I don't know if you notice it, but I can exaggerate it. Like,
yeah.
oh, hello, and well, and it's just so special to be raised by a bunch of farmers, and I think I would definitely not go through this because I'm not well versed in dialects.
That's Welsh, that is. That's Welsh.
Is it Welsh?
That's Welsh. What's occurring? oh. Yeah, if there's a TV show in the UK called Gavin and Stacey, which is like sums up Welsh-English relations quite well, and yeah. Oh, what's occurring?
So I just like sound more Welsh for that.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, well,
Yeah,
it's just definitely not a lot of bother with me. So
we'll get
never mind. Let's just move on with this whole
yeah,
thing.
we'll get to the topic of the show now. I think. So Jim crying, Ryan, Jim Ryan, the crybaby, the hypocrite, the crying man. Um, he's
What's up with him?
yeah, he's just upset because he's not getting his own way, and he's having a crybaby whinge for all his toys out the pram. Basically,
Yeah, it just reminds me of some one of the people I've met online and is so adamant to stick with their own reasoning and just like, I'm not interested in it, but I don't want to speak too much of it, but it's just,
yeah.
you just imagine how painful it is when someone is stuck to their own opinions and not understanding other people's viewpoints.
Yeah, I mean, so I was thinking about this earlier. It's just like if I was I like PlayStation, fine. I'm a bit of a PlayStation fan, but if I was like a hardcore PlayStation fan, this is not the guy I want as the face of my company. He's obviously a good businessman, but he's like why when he saw Gran Turismo 1, he goes, why would anyone want to play this old game? Old games suck. Like, why would you play old games? He doesn't know what he's like when he goes, what games are you currently playing, Jim Ryan? It's like, oh, our most recent game, which just came out. That's what I've been playing. He doesn't know how to hold the controller. When he took a photo with the controller, he's like holding it above his head. He's like, he's just an imbecile. He's not a gamer, obviously, clearly, and I feel like you could have him as your president, fine, but have someone else as your like someone else coming out and talking, because he clearly is not good for you. Like to be the face of your company, he's not a good presence. As I said, he comes across like he's whining and it comes across entitled. He just come out like last week. Go on, sorry.
I must say that unfortunately it's just the games industry is more business oriented.
Yeah.
And you just end up like hiring people who are more versed in businesses than with games.
Yeah,
So you probably end up having CEOs who are like know so much about business but have no idea what they're supposed to be doing with all those games.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're lucky. We got Phil Spencer. He knows what he's like. He legit comes across like he knows what he's talking about, and he knows video games very well. Whereas Jim Ryan, they put the price like he comes across like another Don Matrick. Like he's like putting the price of PlayStation up. He's charging you £10. Like they put the price of the PlayStation itself up, the price of games up, charging people to upgrade from PS4 to PS5. He doesn't know what game, like he doesn't think old games are worth anything. Like he's like completely out of touch, and then like this latest statement is completely shows. To me, he comes across as entitled. He goes, Call of Duty. We were only offered Call of Duty for 3 more years, which we consider inadequate. It's like, you're lucky we offering you even that. Like, if it was the other way around, if PlayStation were buying Call of Duty, do you think they would offer Xbox any exclusivity, like any deal? And like, we're going, oh, we'll give you another 3 years. They're like, that's not good enough. That's inadequate. Like, how spoiled are you? Like, I don't understand. It's because especially when it's coming from a company who pays for like Final Fantasy VII remake to be exclusive, Deathloop, and all these Ghostwire Tokyo and all these other games to be exclusive. And then when we're buying exclusives, they're like, "Oh no, Xbox, don't take Call of Duty away." Like it's pathetic, and he's such a hypocrite. And it winds me up. You can tell I'm a bit annoyed. It's like I want. I don't understand like how someone so. I don't. I feel like.
Well, I think it just seems like as if he wants to make as much profit as possible.
Yeah.
And it just seems like as if, like, he doesn't really care about like whether this is going to be good value for customers.
Oh no.
It just feels like he rather wants to push the envelope and make sure it goes high up until it gets too expensive and he has to stop there. And that's how you feel about it. Plus, just like I mean, it just reminds me of Roller Coaster Tycoon that you need more profit,
Yeah,
and you're not getting enough. Well, so what you do, you raise prices of rides and stalls,
yeah.
and this is necessary so you can get more money to build more rides.
But I mean,
And
that's all well and good. But PlayStation are on record profits. They're making a fortune. They are doing very, very well, and it just comes across as greedy at this point. Like the customers are struggling to pay bills and like people are going to be dying because they can't afford central heating, and and they expected us to pay like, oh, get a second job to get a PS5 basically. It's mad.
they literally said
Well, they
that.
said that with the PS3. They didn't say that with the PS5. The PS3, they said people will be lucky to have a PS3 and they could get a second job. Then Don Matrick was like, "If you don't have the internet, we haven't got Xbox control for you as Xbox 360." Like they say, like these people, they shouldn't have business people coming out and talking about the consoles because they don't know what they're talking about, and it always backfires. I feel like Jim
Yeah,
Ryan.
it just seems to be more elitist, as
Yeah,
if
it's
they
very.
expect the people who've like got so much money and they feel as if people who are hardworking and made all those decisions are entitled to those things. But then that's just like pondering to elites instead of like the wider market, which they should be aiming for. And it just like comes off like as if they want to be able to benefit from sales as much as possible.
Yeah,
And it just seems as if they don't like secondhand titles being
yeah,
sold in the markets, which now it's much harder to see, like
yeah.
with game stores closing. And it just seems like they expect people to keep buying new and not like sticking to the old. It's just like as if
Yeah,
like they expect people to keep spending. Well, so they can like keep themselves alive. I mean, we're not fucking food to them.
yeah. I mean, they feel like we're milking us for what we're worth. Like, I feel like Xbox is going for the best value for money kind of console, and PlayStation's going for boutique, prestige. You could pay us over the odds for games that are not even that good, to be honest. Like that's
And PlayStation 5 looks like a wireless router.
yeah.
You don't like the white stuff on it? Be prepared to pay 45 quid for some shells straight from Sony so you can give it different colours.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true. Like they had people making them before, and then they stopped people making like non-official ones, so they could charge people 45 quid. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh my god, and it's like it feels like every generation, whoever's in the lead kind of gets cocky, and then they get kind of too big for their boots, and they just do stuff that's completely anti-consumer, and it happens every generation, and it's annoying. Um,
Well, that's the case of like some business leaders. Yeah, that's right, because it just seems like as if it was working out for them, then they would just like try to charge them more. And it
yeah,
just seems as if like they're just competing to be like huge and just
yeah,
intends to take advantage of all this extra money. And it just makes you wonder, like, are they reserving it to like expand and like get more technologies that's likely to go nowhere? Or is it that it's just they want to get a little bit extra from those? Because the thing is, I think there's a few businesses that they have to cut their salaries down in order to help everyone out.
mm,
But notice there's places like supermarkets, for instance. If they're not receiving so many profits, then they just cut down resources and a lot of stuff. Like Netflix, for instance, they have to cut down on a lot of animation projects if they lose bunch of subscribers.
mm.
Like, gosh, this is so wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you can see PlayStation are already moving into the live service business. They've already said that that's what their next goal is. They purchased Bungie. They bought Bungie because they want someone who knows how to build a live service, and that's like their future goals. So like the Last of Us multiplayer is gonna be a live service, and they're just gonna have 3 or 4 live service games coming out every year going forward, which is
Really?
yeah. They said yeah. Um, that's their goal at the moment, and it's frustrating. As I said, I just wish that Sony just put Shuhei Yoshida up front. He seems much more likable than Jim Ryan, and Jim Ryan just should shut up because whenever he says anything, he completely makes them look like idiots. I'm sorry. I want to like PlayStation, but Jim Ryan makes it very difficult to like PlayStation at the moment. He's so unlikable. I'm
Well,
sorry. He should
bear
just
in
be in the back.
mind,
He should stay behind the scenes and just do all his job behind the scenes and stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just I'm sorry if Jim Ryan you're listening.
well,
Now nothing personal. It's just you saying these things and come across as
sorry,
entitled, man.
just bear in mind that this company is based in America now than in Japan.
Yeah.
So, therefore, you're going to end up getting people, CEOs that come from the Americas than with Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, Sony Computer Entertainment is no longer a Japanese company per se.
No, that's
So
true.
it's just now like ruled by Western people.
Yeah.
And it's going to get a lot more people from business than with games. So it still baffles me to like they still getting a lot of Japanese games on it, and they still getting a bit of a reach, but there's going to be a limit before like all those changes and even all those anti-consumer practices that it's just going to end up alienating the Japanese market too.
Oh yeah.
Because the thing is, the Japanese market is now like moving towards like mobile games and live service games, and they need smaller systems for it.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's quite likely that PlayStation will probably completely disregard them and try to shift their focus to the Western market. And that's where PlayStation is going to end up being completely different compared to like what it was like 2 decades ago.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying. And it's like they totally disregarded their Japanese fan base. Like the console itself is too big to fit in a Japanese home. Like it's just, I don't know. It sounds like a joke, but it's true. It takes up too much space.
Yeah. That's right.
No, it's true. It is true though. It's funny as well. It is.
No, I
comical.
believe you.
But it's like well, I've got to say it now. Yeah, so it's just like as you said, they've moved to an American base. Everything seems Americanized. They like, and it's like they've put the price up in Japan, and there's no mobile version. Like there's no like portable version of the PlayStation. I mean, you can do remote play, but it's not as good as like Xbox Cloud. I mean, if you got a Series S, which is like half the size, half the price, and you can stream most games from the cloud, I feel like that's much more appealing to a Japanese person, I would imagine. I mean, I don't want to speak for them, obviously, but obviously they have the games at the moment that appeal to Japan. Like we reacted to that showcase yesterday, and it was mainly Capcom games and Japanese role-playing games, but I feel like if Xbox starts to get them, then it might be a bit more of an even keel. But yeah, so what do you feel about Call of Duty, like Xbox owning Call of Duty and still giving them Call of Duty for another 3 years, and PlayStation being like, no, that's not good enough? Like honestly, I feel like that comes across super entitled to me. Like you should be grateful to even have it for another 3 years. I don't understand why you feel like you're entitled to have it forever and in perpetuity. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's weird to me, like especially when they do the same thing to Xbox all the time with games. They'll make them exclusive, and Xbox owners will be able to have them. And like he goes, "Oh, this deal does not consider does not take PlayStation gamers into account." Just like you give a shit about Xbox gamers, Jim Ryan. You've never taken Xbox gamers into account. Why should we care about PlayStation gamers? Like it's baffling to me that he feels so entitled that he can actually turn down 3 extra years of Call of Duty and feel like it's like a bad deal. It's like you're lucky to even get that, as far as I'm concerned. To be honest, it's madness. Yeah. Well,
I just think like when it comes to deal, like why? I mean, how is it taking so long? Because it should have been done like a month ago. And Call of Duty could be on like Game Pass all that time, but it just seems as if the courts had to intervene and make sure it goes free, because PlayStation feels that this deal is like to be the end of them. Yeah. But I think it's just a case like this just happens. Deal with it.
Yeah, they should compete. That's what they should be doing. They should be just, instead of crying and going, "Oh, we want Call of Duty. It's not fair." They should make games that compete with Call of Duty. I don't understand. Like they probably got the second or third biggest shooter in the market with Destiny on their under their belts. I mean, yeah, all right, we might lose Call of Duty, but you've still got Destiny. You still got, I know you got all these IP like Killzone, Resistance, like SOCOM. You got all these other shooters. Like you could be making new shooters from them to compete.
Well,
I don't
exactly,
understand.
because
it's baffling to me.
because you've been on the PS3 Trust podcasts, and you were challenged on which of those franchises are likely to get more games, and they were like really skeptical on like whether we see more from those franchises on Xbox, and they think as if they got plenty of franchises on Sony. I mean, is this the case?
I mean, I would like to see more stuff on Sony. Like, Phil Spencer has said that they're going to keep like big multiplayer games. They're going to keep their fan bases. So they've shown with Minecraft, which they bought like 10 years ago, that if they keep their word and they keep stuff on PlayStation. Like Minecraft is still on PlayStation, even though Xbox have owned it for like 10 years. They've said they're not going to remove that from PlayStation gamers, and they said the same thing. Essentially, they're going to do the same thing with Call of Duty. So I don't understand why PlayStation are crybabies about it. Like you're gonna get Call of Duty. They said you're gonna get Call of Duty. They've already shown you that they're good for their word, because they've done it with Minecraft. They've done it with Elder Scrolls Online. They've done it with Fallout 76. There's all these live service games that Xbox own, and they're still on the PlayStation. So I don't understand why they think that we're just going to pull Call of Duty and like it's going to be gone forever, because they said that they're not going to pull it. They've already said this. So they gave this they even gave you this contract to reassure you that we're at least for another 3 years it's not going anywhere. But yet they're still crying and moaning about it. It's like, I don't know. The only company that seems to be against this deal is PlayStation. Like, the most the most successful games company on the planet at the moment is the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo, and they don't even have Call of Duty. So it proves that you don't need Call of Duty to be successful. I don't understand why there's such babies about it.
Well, I think there's only one court at the moment that's been questioning the deal. Is the UK courts?
Yeah.
And it's just been questioning about it. But in Europe, PlayStation is like leading at the moment. They have a lot more consoles sold compared with Xbox, and Xbox is thriving in the Americas, which is probably the only reason that Sony is like not trying to waste too much from the American market, and they want to make sure it appeals to the customers there. But Europe, no problem, because as long as people are like buying PlayStation stuff there, then we can just keep raising the prices there. So it's just really weird if like the courts in around Europe or even the UK are even like questioning the deal between Activision and Xbox. And yet it just seems as if like Sony is just acting in their best interests on the popularity. Like if it's popular, raise the prices. But if you want to like make sure it's popular in a particular region, you focus on it. So I mean, this is basically businesses trying to take advantage of what is available than just like trying to hit the mass market every time.
Exactly. It's you know, it's yeah.
I know this is a bit weird because I got a master's in entrepreneurship, and I was taught about like how you can like reach out to people, because when you're starting out, you have to rely on innovation and make sure it delivers a niche. And if it gets really good, you try to hit the mass market whilst you just make sure you keep track of the values there.
Yeah.
But too often the companies like often oversaturate with more things you can do with it that loses the appeal of the purpose.
Yeah.
And now what the Sony's doing is just like they're trying to claim territories and try to balance between the respect for the customers and also like having enough profits to keep themselves afloat.
Yeah. I mean, as I said earlier, they have record profits. So they don't really need to do any of this stuff that they're doing, but they do seem to be doing very anti-consumer stuff, which is off-putting. And like Call of Duty is a big seller for PlayStation. It does make them a lot of money, but it's still like they're still sell. It's still going to be on PlayStation. It's still going to sell. So I don't understand. I still don't understand why they're making such a fuss. The fact that it's going to be on Game Pass, yeah, okay, maybe bring a couple of million people over to Xbox, but they still have the market share. And people still have PlayStations and still want to play Call of Duty on PlayStation. So they're still going to make money from Call of Duty. So it's just baffling. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I had to say really when it comes to crying Ryan, Jim Ryan.
And I have enough to talk about it too. So
Yes.
to be honest, I don't follow this stuff at the moment, but I just feel Sony is like changing hands and seems to act in the business interests and the gaming interests. So I don't want to say too much or anticipate, but I think it's just like it's just getting really awkward for those who follow the PlayStation. And to be honest, I do have some sympathy towards them.
Yeah.
But I think some of them can be like stick with their pride with the whole PlayStation and feels as if anything that comes to PlayStation is going to turn out really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I stuck with like Team Xbox because I do not have any intention to get a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
But then again, it's just like I've been on PlayStation 4 before trying to get involved with it. But there's parts that I did not like, so I just went back to the Xbox because that's why I found it much better.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer my Xbox hands down to my PlayStation. I've barely used my PlayStation since I bought it. They have a couple of good exclusives. I'm a fan of Spider-Man, but value for money, Xbox is definitely the better prospect. You know, just get Game Pass and Xbox, and you're good to go. I feel like if you like playing lots of different things, you got so much variety on Xbox, and it is like so cheap. It's like it's you know I would always recommend an Xbox to someone over a PlayStation, especially now they've put the prices up. You know, it's madness.
Now have you heard of like PlayStation Stars?
Yeah, we were discussing that yesterday, weren't we? The PlayStation, that was in our reaction video of the PlayStation Stars. Their rewards
and
system.
I just like
look like NFTs.
Yeah, it just kind of looks as if they're NFTs by the looks of it. So I don't know if it's just like is this the loyalty program? But I'll just see if it mentions about NFTs. Yeah, it says that they're not. It's not an NFT.
They said they're not NFTs. But yeah, they came out saying that before, but they sure look like NFTs. Ooh, I'm not sure. I thought like when they first came out of it, I was thought it would be like Xbox rewards, like where you basically play games, you get points, so you can buy stuff with the points, or claim raffles and stuff. Like that's what they do on Xbox, isn't it? But they seem to be like, oh no, you can lock these 3D models. I don't. Why would I want these?
It's just like they trying to. It's just like as if they're trying to do pin trading. Like you collect pins and put them on your necklace.
I'm good, thanks. I don't see the point of them. It's weird. Yeah, what they showed was utter rubbish. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say that. I just don't see. I don't see the point. 3D models that like you unlock 3D models that you can trade with people or you can put on your profile. I don't really know how it works. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Yeah, I think that's really it for this week's episode. Though, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up the episode, or?
Yep.
So this has been a fun one. We've got on for about an hour and a half. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you always. As I said, we're a new channel on Xbox the Box. We're trying to grow. We've been stuck at like 11 subscribers for like a month now. So if you're interested in our channel, please subscribe and ring the bell and tell your grandma, tell your auntie, tell your dog walker, and tell everyone to subscribe. Just we want to try and make this grow, and we want to try and become one of the bigger Xbox podcasters as we can. If we want to just keep growing and make this channel grow if we can. And Any feedback would be great as well. If you had any feedback, just leave a comment in the comments below as well. But yeah, that's it for this week. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
That's about it.
No?
No.
No, okay. Well, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, too sweet. There it is, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.